Before, it was the procedure of removing screws, but now we will change this procedure to assembling screws. Let's change the tightening screw time to 1.5 first. Don't change the rest. Then set this to enable the screw removal settings. Select Close. Enter 0 and press OK. These parameters are the same as those for removing screws and do not need to be modified. There is a difference between assembling screws and disassembling screws, that is, the disassembly time and assembly time need to be modified. Modify this time. The following other parameters do not need to be modified. These parameters can be shared and do not require modification. 004 serial number has screw detection, select to turn it on. This must be turned on, otherwise he will assemble it if the screws are not detected. Serial number 005, X, Y. See operating speed settings. Let's set it according to this parameter. Assemble the screws normally and follow this speed. X-axis speed, we can also be faster, set 800. Select the screw removal mode to be turned off, and don't worry about the rest. Then modify the height of the assembly screw. Now this assembly screw working head nozzle has been replaced, so the height of the assembly screw is different. The assembly screw heights are different, so we need to modify the Z-axis parameters. Set Z-axis height. We can set up another scheme to replicate this program. Save as a new program. One program is responsible for removing the screws, and the other program is responsible for assembling the screws. If I need to remove the screws, I choose the screwing procedure. If I need to assemble the screws, I choose the assembling screw procedure. Let's find where this feature is located. See which menu this function is in. If you have any questions, please contact us via jhymas.com or jhymas.net. Now we need to assemble the screws. This procedure was to remove the screws before. The coordinates are still the original coordinates. Just need to change the parameters. We will now restore this program to unscrewing mode, restore the parameters we just modified, and save it as a program. Turn on the screw removal mode selection. Enter 1 to select on. Then modify the longest locking screw time parameter. Modify to 0.3. We need to copy this program to another folder. Now is the procedure of removing the screws. We did not modify this procedure, but save it as a new procedure. We need to modify it in the new program and create an assembly screw program. In this way, the procedure of assembling screws and disassembling screws can be realized. Let's demonstrate. Press the Menu 3 button. The third option on page 1 of Menu 3. Option 3. OK. Then we select 1 to enter the menu. Copy from the machine to the programmer. We chose this, OK. We first copy the program onto the controller. After entering, we press the OK button. We select number 1 and press OK. Wait for the data copying to complete. Copy existing coordinates and parameter settings to the handling programmer. The data has been copied. Then we need to create a new file. Switch, then create a new one, press. Now the program file has reached number 5. Let's name the program. Just type in a name. We will now copy the data from the handling programmer to the machine. In the same way, open menu 3, page 1, option 3. We chose 3, to copy from the programmer to the machine. Copy from programmer to machine. This is the program we just had. Select the program, press the OK key, and copy the data to the machine. We have copied this program. That's the program just now. We directly modify the corresponding parameters on this program and change it to the assembly screw program. The first modifies the maximum screw locking time. Set this time to 1.5 seconds. Open the screw removal option and select Turn off screw removal mode. In this way, a screw removal procedure and a locking screw procedure can be realized. No need to modify any parameters. Okay, next we will adjust the height of this assembly screw. The default parameters in red are actually changed to 2. Modify the longest lock screw time. Then modify the close screw removal option. In fact, by modifying these 2 parameters, you can assemble and disassemble the screws. Let's check that the coordinates of this screw assembly are aligned with the center of the screw. If all the coordinates are aligned with the center of the screw, we only need to set the height of the Z-axis assembly screw. Move down the Z-axis. Check the clearance here, see the clearance variation here. The gap here cannot be too large. Check this location. There's a little bit of spacing like this. The working head nozzle is in contact with the LED surface. Then assemble the screws in depth mode. So now, we need to set the height of the Z-axis. In menu 1, page 1, in the second feudal, set the height. The method of operation is also the same as before. If you do not understand anything in the process of operation, you can contact us at any time, jhims.com. Then set the height to 60.8. Press the OK key and return. We forgot one step. We need to clamp this LED module. We also need to modify a batch parameter. One of the electric batch parameters needs to be modified. In menu 4, the fourth option on page 1, we need to shut down the smart elevator. Select 7, and then we will turn off the smart batch. Since we are using deep mode, the smart electric screwdriver needs to be turned off. You need to select 0 to close, and the wrong choice is made in the video. After exiting, we select 1 and press OK. Then move the last parameter to select 1 depth mode. Option 1, representing the depth mode. After pressing the OK button, automatically save and exit. Don't worry about the rest. Next, we press the array lock button and the cylinder runs up and down. Check whether the sensor senses the telescopic column. We rotate the telescopic ruler until the sensor light goes out and then stops immediately. We need to debug just right, and the induction light is on, not too much or too little. When we removed the screws, we may have modified the position of this sensor before. This sensor fixed position is prohibited from moving. If you move the sensor position, all the parameters change. So let's fix it now. This sensor position is prohibited from moving. We are now correcting this altitude. But under normal circumstances, this must not be moved. This is the position of the fixed sensor. We can only debug the telescopic column below. This sensor position is equivalent to the reference position, and we cannot move this reference position. If you use torque mode, do not need to use depth mode, then the telescopic rod must be screwed to the end, cannot sense the sensor. Screw it to the bottom like this so you can't touch the sensor. This is how deep mode works. Don't let the sensor detect it, so we can use torque mode. The indicator light is on like this, and it is not sensed. If you use depth mode, we're going to use telescopic sensing sensors. We press the relock button, the cylinder goes down and then adjust the height of the telescopic column. We will sense the telescopic column that the indicator light is off, and then we will test again. We need to test the assembly screws for this height before we can know the exact height. Let's press the single step button, assemble a screw, and check it. Screw vibration feeder, no screws are added here. We just need to add a little screw. In this case, there are no screws on the track, and the screws do not move. Let's long press this screw feeder button. Press this button for a long time and wait for all the screws to move to the track. Press and hold the screw feeder button and wait for the screw to move up. Then place this gland over the screw track. This gland should not be pressed too tightly or too high. If the height is too low, the screws cannot move forward. If the height is too high, the screws will stack up. We need to adjust this height. If the screw is pushed up, we remove the screw and let the briquette height be just above the surface of the screw. Our goal is only to don't press the screws to move and don't let the screws stack up. When the machine is working, do not reach out to the working head, preventing the machine from hitting itself. When we press the machine's single step button, the machine assembles a screw. Check the tightening depth of the screws by adjusting this telescopic rod. Now the assembled screw is a little higher. Let's adjust the telescopic rod down a bit. This telescopic rod is adjusted by checking the tightening depth of the screws. We press the single step button, and the workbench will assemble a screw. If there is no problem in checking that the screws are tightened, we will fix this telescopic rod to prevent loosening. I want to proceed from the current position to complete all the subsequent screw assemblies. We open Menu 2 and select the third option on page 2. Click Run from the cursor. This is to adjust the moving speed of the upper and lower cylinders. Don't move up and down too fast. Don't move the cylinder up and down too fast. This video is introduced here. If you have any questions, please contact us. jhims.com.